I was impressed with the presentations this morning in terms of what I learned about the planning system. What I didn't hear anything about was learning from experience. And I think any of these administrative units, whether they be municipalities, regions or whatever, need to have some capacity to be self-critical about what they've been doing themselves and to learn lessons from what they have been trying to do in the past. That, in a sense, is them standing alone, but I think they should also engage in some form of benchmarking where they look at potential competitors, or at least cities in similar circumstances, and ask themselves quite rigorously, why aren't we doing as well as they are? And if we're not, what would we need to do to catch up, that type of thing. So I think I'd see the city working alone as needing to develop this discipline. We sometimes call it evaluation, but I think sometimes that can be too rigid. Learning from experience is more flexible. It allows you to tailor your evaluation to the particular circumstances. And then I think it is a healthy exercise to place yourself alongside other cities and to make those sort of systematic comparisons.
Thank you, Peter. We have Monsieur André Top. Yes. Please.
Yes, thank you very much, President. Just concerning the questions, cities, islands, or global positioning, if I just come back to the agricultural of food divide at the moment, we can see that, okay, that's nice, and cities have relations between them, and there's this so-called network of huge cities in the world, but also they are related with their interlands, with their close or at hand. And at this moment, it's really important to know that, because cities cannot live without rural or peri-urban, or let's say rural areas, or place where it's food. So I think that the main question is not are there islands or not, because in a sense it's not possible for them to do that at the moment, to be real islands. But the question is, are there leaded by rural areas or places where there is production of food, or is it the reverse way at the moment, or does cities are leading the organization of land use and of production, even in remote areas as well?
Thank you. Going both ways. Anybody else in the audience or here on the panel that I might invite? Roberta.
We'll ask Monsieur.
Abdillah les dames first.
Alors, la notion d'île et de positionnement global à l'échelle internationale pose la question d'abord de délimitation du territoire. Qu'est-ce que c'est une métropole? C'est quoi une métropole? C'est une délimitation géographique, c'est une délimitation à la fois géographique et institutionnelle. Alors, c'est ça la question. Si on prend des cas, dans plusieurs pays, on trouve plusieurs modèles. Des modèles où la ville, la métropole est connue du point de vue institutionnel, mais il n'est pas délimité spatialement. Et on trouve des cas où la délimitation spatiale elle est liée, il y a une conjonction entre l'institutionnel et le spatial. Si je prends le cas marocain, Casablanca comme île, c'est quoi? C'est la municipalité, c'est la municipalité plus la périphérie, c'est l'aire du sofa, c'est-à-dire dans lequel on prend Rabat et Casablanca et on prend des villes moyennes qui est autour et on parle de la métropole nationale marocaine. Chaque fois, lorsqu'on change d'échelle, on change de poids. Et par conséquent, on change de positionnement de la métropole par rapport à l'international. Par exemple, si on compare Casablanca par rapport au Caire, uniquement la municipalité, rien du tout. Mais si on compare Casablanca plus Rabat plus tout l'aire métropolitain dans lequel on prend toutes les villes moyennes et la périphérie, on peut la comparer au Caire, on peut le comparer à Johannesburg. Donc, la question d'île comme délimitation géographique et institutionnelle est très très importante. Et qui dit délimitation institutionnelle et spatiale dit question de gouvernance. Et qui dit gouvernance dit capacité de concurrencer, capacité de se positionner au niveau international. Au Maroc, je reviens à ce qu'a dit tout à l'heure M. Aziz Al-Iraqi concernant la gouvernance de Casablanca. Casablanca, c'est une métropole nationale, mais en même temps, elle est gérée comme une ville banale, comme n'importe quelle ville. Elle est gérée de la même manière. Et d'ailleurs, actuellement, il y a une réflexion sur ces questions. Au Maroc, il y a une réflexion approfondie sur cette question d'abord de la gestion de la métropole, la délimitation de la métropole et la mise en place de nouvelles structures pour dépasser la crise que connaît la métropole nationale actuellement. Et merci.
Thank you, Monsieur Lezam. I hope that one of our rapporteurs kept track of what you said just now, because I think it's a very important input in this discussion. Basically, what you're saying is it's a bit of a false dichotomy that's created here, because the concepts on both sides of the oar are actually much more subtle and much more dynamic and difficult to be understood. So I don't have a simple motto here, other than that it isn't a simple. But we've done 4 statements in a process attempt towards speed dating. If this is possible, then a lot more is possible in the planning of our cities and regions. And with that, I'd like to bring this panel discussion to an end. I'd like to thank very much our panelists, Monsieur Tarek Klivi, and my neighbor, Mr. Aziz El-Iraqi, Roberto Capella, Roberta Capello, and Jaco too. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marina and Peter, for your splitting issues that you put on the board here. And in order not to lose too much time, I'm going to ask the rapporteurs to immediately now go on to the final session of the day. Which is
the first session.
I'm looking it up here. We get a synthesis and conclusions of the sessions by the rapporteurs. And since Roberta is one of the rapporteurs for the first session, I'm happy to give her the floor immediately to please try, however difficult it was, to do this in just a few minutes.
Yes. Well, I'll be brief, although the presentations were very interesting and rich. I think from what I understood from the first session, I got 4 messages, general messages on which I think we can still reflect and go on with some, and go home with something to reflect on. Well, the general statement that Peter presented, that Peter and Karima presented us was that, of course, urban population is destined to grow in the future, and especially in the near future. So urban policies and very total urban policies should be should be on the table of our general thoughts. The second point that came from another presentation, the second message is that this is true. I mean, we are in front of an urban population growth which is absolutely impressive in all continents, but however, this urban development goes on with different speeds. And the different speed, and economic development goes on with different speeds, and these different speeds affect urban development in a different way. So although cities, and we have seen that in our different presentations, might have common challenges in front of them, environmental challenge, social challenge, the physical expansions that is something that worries, especially in Morocco, is something that they try to control. The policies that come and that have to be put in place to face these challenges have to be developed, taking into account the different specificities in which urban development takes place, and especially also the age of the city in which this rapid growth takes place. The third point was that, I'm completely confused here. What did I say here? We are seeing that the implementation of urban policy is not an easy task. Urban planning requires a strong connection with the economic development plans, and sometimes these plans have different time horizons and take place in different moments in times, and this creates a sort of huge problem in urban development. And again, urban policies should take these two speeds into account in order to be, and Casablanca was a good example on this. The final message that I got was that we are very much concerned with the growth of our cities, but we should also be concerned with the decline of some parts of some cities, especially this takes place, as we have seen in some presentation, in US, in internal areas. And this means that, again, urban policies should provide an answer also for this kind of problematic situation of urban decline. Thanks.